Now on Denver 7 News at 5, it is a real split screen forecast on this Weather Action Day. We are seeing different conditions around the metro, from wet roads in Denver to snow and a lot of slush in Littleton, as you see from the picture there on the right, southeast C470 on Santa Fe, just south of Littleton there.
And our team is spread out across the Front Range to show you what you can expect on your morning drive. We'll check in with Veronica Acosta and Stacy Donaldson in just a moment.
Yeah, we see the snow still falling on Stacy there. Let's get started here with Lisa Hidalgo. How much more snow are we going to get today, Lisa?
It looks like at least another couple of inches. The hard thing with storms like this, though, is the ground is so warm, so a lot of it melts as soon as it hits, which is good. I mean, it's still good precipitation, but your totals may not look as impressive as they are when we take a look at some of those totals on the west and south side of town where it's been a bit heavier. Take a look, snow continuing to fall here in town. North of Denver, it's been mainly just wet conditions from Longmont up near Fort Collins, where we had some of the snow mixing in with rain. A few pockets where it's been a little bit heavier, where you see the darker blue south of Denver there along the Palmer Divide. This being one of the spots where we were expecting some heavier totals, and we'll get you those coming up here just about 10 minutes from now, what we've seen so far and how much more we'll get. But again, likely around 1 to 3 inches here. These alerts, most of those set to expire at about 12 o'clock today by midday. Winter storm warning remaining in effect here in Denver. And up and down the Front Range, they're in purple winter weather advisory. So snow will continue. It's going to start to taper off from north to south. Temperatures won't budge much. We're right now right around freezing, actually not that cold out there. We'll see about a 5 to 7 degree warm up, and we're going to likely be in the upper 30s. So expecting those temps to be, well, pretty mild. And Stacy is seeing that out across parts of the metro area early this morning, where it's been actually fairly mild early on, Stacy. So we see a lot of it melting right away.
That's right, and the roads really aren't too bad at all. As we're standing out here on Sphere, you can see just mainly wet roads, and this is a very temperature dependent storm. Lisa and I both talked about it. We walked in, we're like, it's a little warm out there, isn't it? Temperature's still in the low to mid 30s, so a lot of this just melting on the roads. You remember, it's been in the 50s and 60s the last couple of days. So even as the snow comes down, yes, it is melting, so you may run into those slushy areas and places, but so far here on Spear and Lincoln and Broadway, it's looking pretty good. Roads moving along smoothly, but as we get through the rest of the morning, we'll see continued snow falling here for the area. So we're not quite out of the woods yet, and yes, we do have a winter storm warning in effect until noon right here in downtown Denver. So keep that in mind, and those heavier amounts expected into the foothills if you're driving that direction. Otherwise, for the rest of the day, you'll just have to factor in maybe a bit of a slowdown, but Colette has more on that. Colette, what's it looking like on the roads this morning?
Thanks, Stacey. Yeah, you can see right here, this is a look at our CDOT camera there along 25 near 23rd. You can see those wet roads Stacey was just telling us about. Of course, you do really want to be careful. That can turn to ice pretty quickly out there, as we all know who have lived in Colorado. Take a look here at our map for some of our metro drive times. Looking pretty good in the metro area right now. Of course, if you do head on down this 270 from 70 to 25 and eastbound, that looks great there for a drive time. I do want to tell you about some closures here on 70 if you are headed out to the mountains. 40 between Golden and Genesee in both directions, and then 70 between C470 and 40, both closed due to safety concerns. Take a look here at our CDOT camera out there near Lookout Mountain. Visibility definitely very reduced. If you are heading out there, be sure and be careful. And Veronica, what does it look like where you are right now?
So this is a very different storm than the past couple that we've had. We're on Quebec and County Line Road, and take a look at the sidewalk here just below me. The snow here, it's not as packed as the previous storms, and then of course it gets real slushy on these sidewalks. They were very warm yesterday. We had an overall warm day. When we go out to the street, you can see some of that snow quickly turning, just melting, pooling a bit on the side of the shoulders here of the roadway, and then off into the intersection. That's where you're going to see most of those slushy conditions. That's really been the case all morning long. You can see some of these vehicles splashing a lot as they drive. We had our windshield wipers on from the moment we left downtown Denver through the tech center and here to Highlands Ranch. Really consistent all throughout those intersections. Those are going to be the slushiest spots. So if you're taking off this morning, driving anywhere on I-25 or through the metro down south, that's what you're going to see. We're live in Highlands Ranch. Back to you.
Yeah, need the waterproof boots today for sure. It's so wet out there. Thank you, Veronica. The weather is impacting some flights in and out of DIA. We just checked FlightAware, and so far there are 5 delays and 67 flight cancellations. You can follow along with the forecast anytime. We have a 24/7 weather stream on the Denver 7 Plus app. You can download that on your Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or Android device.
Well, the United Nations holding a meeting today to discuss the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine. The UN says there are now more than 3 million refugees who escaped the country since the war started. The meeting was requested by the US, the UK, France, Ireland, Norway, and Albania. A Ukrainian official says Russian airstrikes destroyed a theater in Mariupol where civilians were taking shelter. Look at this satellite image. The writing on both sides said that children were inside and it was targeted anyway. The former head of the region shared in a short statement on Facebook, people were coming out alive. It's unclear right now how many people survived that. President Biden is sending $800 million in military aid to Ukraine. One of the weapons going overseas are Switchblade drones. Unlike larger Predator drones that fire missiles at targets, the Switchblade drones fit into a bag and aren't meant to return from their mission. These drones are designed to crash directly into a target, which detonates its small warhead. The administration's support package also includes Stinger missiles, rifles, and thousands of anti-armor weapons. And breaking overnight, Michaela Schifrin is taking skiing's overall World Cup title for the 4th time. It is a much-needed win for the Colorado native after failing to medal at the Winter Olympics in Beijing last month. Well, excitement has swept over Broncos country, and we are officially in the Russell Wilson era.
And the Broncos introduced Wilson as their new quarterback yesterday. He spoke about his special connection to Denver.
Denver was a place that has meant a lot to me over the years, but to know that this is a winning football team, you know, if I was gonna waive my no trade clause, you know, it had to be to a winning football team. And these guys are winners back here. And so I'm excited about it. It's a winning locker room. So it's about the players. You know, it's about the players. It's about obviously a great coaching staff and the organization. But the players, we help get it done. And that's what I was excited about. Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's ride. Wilson said his goal is to play 10 to 12 more years and win 3 to 4 more Super Bowls. The Broncos tweeted this picture showing Russell and his wife Sierra holding up a Wilson Broncos jersey. They titled the photo King and Queen of Broncos Country. If you're looking to add Wilson to your jersey collection, you can order one right now through the Broncos fan shop on the NFL's website. 6 of the top 10 best-selling jerseys right now are Wilson. You can also find those at the team shop on the south side of Empower Field. Well, some disappointing news for Broncos country. Former Broncos star Von Miller will not be returning to Denver. He signed a 6-year, $120 million deal with the Buffalo Bills.
Well, from the football field to the basketball court, the CSU men's team is getting ready for its first round in the NCAA tournament. 6 seed CSU is taking 11 seed Michigan. Tip-off is at 10:15 a.m. in Indianapolis. Well, the Rockies kick off their spring training games today. The team is playing 21 games in 20 days. The Rockies and the Arizona Diamondbacks share a spring training facility in Tucson. Salt River Fields at Talking Stick.
It's the most panoramic spring training park in all of baseball, in my opinion. We have mountain views, 360 degrees around the ballpark. It's stunningly beautiful. The architecture, the land that it's on. It's the only Major League Sports facility built on Native American land.
Tickets start at $15 for the lawn area. The Rockies are welcoming a new player. KRIS Bryant is signing a 7-year, $182 million deal to come to Colorado. Bryant was an all-star last season for the Cubs before being traded to the Giants. He was the National League MVP in 2016. The Rockies season opener is against the Dodgers Friday, April 8th at Coors Field.
It is just about 5:10. This would not be good opening day weather, although we've seen it. We've seen snow on opening day. Right now, looking at winter storm warnings still in effect for the Front Range and winter weather advisories there in purple. Coming up, we'll take a look at how much snow we've seen in some neighborhoods, how much more we're going to get, and just how much warmer it's going to get for the coming weekend.
And it's a true tale of 2 different 70s. 70 out toward the east. Roads not looking too terrible. Pretty slushy though, but then check out 70 in the west. This is near Lookout Mountain. not too clear. Lots of visibility problems. Take a look here at this map. I'm going to break down these closures for you right up ahead.
All right, well, getting a lift will soon cost you more.
We'll tell you how much the company is going to charge to offset rising gas prices. Expanding access to the world's most read book, how a Colorado woman is sharing the Bible with people of all denominations in a special way.